Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Ripple XRP effect. The Howey Test hasn't worked out well amidst SEC Commissioner peers. Today, going to be talking about that, plus of course we got a ton of other crypto news to cover, but I have to say, I'm going to keep saying it until somebody wins. We're giving away 250 XRP. Yes guys, 250 XRP, and there's just 3 simple steps to enter. Make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. That is it. It's not difficult, it's not hard, it's very simple. Having said that, Hester Peirce, SEC Commissioner, popularly known as Crypto Mom, has gone on a little bit of a rant, and there's a couple of things said on both sides. People, however, have come to the conclusion, and I think this will only keep getting broader, that the Howey Test, the way that it is right now, just really doesn't make that much sense. The commissioner also criticized the Howey Test used by the Supreme Court to determine whether an asset is actually a security. According to her, the Howey Test has had some challenges over the years when being applied to the digital currency industry. Logically, the Howey Test, freaking 70 years old, it doesn't really make much sense that they were still using that, but alright. It is worth noting that the SEC of the US sued Ripple over an illegal securities offering in December, and of course some people are saying that, oh, Ripple is going to be the new test, which they'll have the Ripple test. According to digital currency lawyer at Anderson Kill, Stephen Pauly, the scenario where Ripple would win the lawsuit and replace Howey Test with another legal identifier for crypto is delusional, which I personally would disagree with. I think it would be pretty logical if it were to be the case, yet unlikely if you follow the circumstances. It would be unlikely, but it would be quite logical, honestly speaking, because we've seen now before, the Howey Test just doesn't really work for digital currencies, and well, Ripple is the first example where these newer digital assets are really being sued quite heavily. So since Howey was the first case where this whole security debacle came up, it wouldn't be crazy if the first case, in this case Ripple, if that's where everything kind of stems from, that they're going to use that as the newer test. It's going to be used as a baseline regardless, so officially calling it the newer Ripple test wouldn't even be that odd in my opinion. In order to tackle, she said, ambiguity, Crypto Mom has suggested a 3-year safe harbor for virtual currency token projects. Following this, it would provide exemptions under a given set of strict conditions, saying, you have 3 years to develop the network so that the token is actually usable or the network is decentralized. And at that point, it is clear the security laws don't apply, and everything that you say will be covered by the anti-fraud laws under the security laws. And what that refers to is that a lot of these projects, once they start out, everything is in the interest of the party that is giving it out, right? For example, Ethereum is the Ethereum Foundation. With Cardano, you might say a couple of things about it, but with XRP, it is of course Ripple. However, as time moves on, they become more decentralized, can stand on their own freaking legs. And in this case here, she is kind of talking about a 3-year period where the first 3 years you can build your network out, build some use case for it, build some decentralization for it. And then afterwards, once more, it should be proper. Ripple's XRP could soon make its way back to most crypto exchanges. Here is why. Well, I don't even think we have to go very far into this one, as I believe most of you guys already know it. Yet, American editor Michael Arrington, talking to Twitter, said, there is zero risk for Coinbase and other exchanges to now relist XRP. He said that a few days ago, following whispers that the legal battle could look favorable for Ripple, and that's also why the price did pretty damn nicely the last couple of days. The thing is, guys, it's very hard to claim whether or not it is a zero risk thing for exchanges. We've seen now that all these exchanges could always throw it on the argument that, well, the SEC has said before that there was no certainty that XRP was a security. It's definitely not been defined now. And also the whole lawsuit is only against Ripple, and it's only about the past basically. So delisting it wouldn't be a bad thing. However, relisting it wouldn't be a bad thing. However, some of these exchanges have stated before that if they were to do it without the proper letter from the SEC, it might hurt them in the end, because basically what SEC pulled against Ripple was the card that they should have known back then, right? Even though even the SEC has admitted to so many people now and so many exchanges before that they have not made a clarification on XRP, eventually they might pull the card against these exchanges too, that they should have known that it was a security because they got sued, right? Because Ripple got sued from the SEC with an investigation. They'll just say that the exchanges should have also done their own due diligence, noticed it was a security, and then taken it off in hindsight. So I can understand why it's a little bit cumbersome. a little bit difficult for them to instantly do it. However, I would say the argument that even some individual investors emailed the SEC in October of 2020 or something along those lines, and some exchanges have constantly asked SEC for verification or clarification, and they never gave it. They always said, we don't know. Yeah, that should be enough proof that you can't know either. Even if they're being sued, there's no final verdict. So getting it back on here, which they never should have delisted, by the way, that was all improper judgment. Yeah, it probably wouldn't do that bad because they could always defend it by saying, well, but you didn't know, so how could we have known? Now that you're saying it's security, we're taking it off. CZ from Binance asked on Twitter, what coins you want listed on Binance? And I would say, guys, everybody should just spam XRP. It's a little bit too late now because it's already been posted for a couple of hours, but people should have spammed XRP like crazy or hashtag relist XRP for that matter. Because I don't understand why not that many of these exchanges have actually given a response to the whole debacle. We all know they've seen it. We all know they've heard about it. Yet they're not given a response. I don't know why. King Solomon posted, if XRP were to go to a ridiculously and astronomically high number this bull run, I would certainly apologize and give credit to certain individuals I ridiculed. From my yacht. I think it would be easier to do something like that from my yacht. I think we'll maybe see $10 per coin though, max, and I'll still be required to call BS on insane predictions. Flare Community said, wait, you're not a 589 believer? He said, I try to be realistic. That number is theoretically possible, but highly unlikely. I planned, hopefully, and allocated enough to change my life in the interim with this bull market and to change my life for the long run with the next bull market. At least that's the plan. And yeah, I honestly believe that I am also on the same page as him, being like, well, we all know where it's going. We know that 10,000, 35,000, which some of these people are calling out, are quite unlikely. Let's call it almost impossible, but not impossible. You know, it is almost, because I've set a couple of parameters as to why that can be observed in the whole. Let's call it differently. No, I have said a couple of flicks. How would I call this in the best way? There's a couple of things which could make it possible. For example, if XRP were to really take over as the world currency, which once more is highly unlikely, yet not impossible, and a couple of these other points, right? If the US dollar, however, is the number one currency still, and the system is the way it is right now, XRP hitting $10,000, $35,000 is all strange, and I don't know how who came up with it the first time, because even the $10,000 idea is always on the fact that XRP would become the world reserve currency. Once more, that is highly unlikely. Can it happen? Yes. Is it in the plan? Is it my plan to, wait for that? No, not at all. So from that perspective, I'm going to agree with him. $10 per XRP, pretty simple. I've said it before, $3 to $7 is just in a snap. It can happen once they win this lawsuit. So $10, yeah, it ain't that hard. It's basically saying Bitcoin is going to hit $150,000 per coin. I don't think that's too hard either. On the note of Bitcoin, GBTC, which stands for Grayscale Bitcoin, discount hit an all-time high. So where will Bitcoin's price head next? Always interesting to think about this one, yet it's all not really too relevant as there's so many theories going on about this right now. Grayscale's Bitcoin fund products have traded at an average discount of 4.6 and 4.3% compared to net asset value throughout March. This comes at a time when Bitcoin's price has dropped over 8%. And I've said before, if you are going to speculate everything on Grayscale's ETFs, or Grayscale sort of ETFs, you're doing it wrong, most likely. Because this always says a couple of different things. It says, from a certain perspective, that people are not really interested in it, but it could also mean that they have just not properly backed it with enough Bitcoin or backed it with too much Bitcoin. They've been buying more than the demand is basically for newer investors. But it could also be that they're just adding too much, or that some people are getting out and buying their real Bitcoins instead of the ETF type of Bitcoin within Grayscale. It could be a lot of things. It could also be, we saw now that they're buying some stock back. It could be some plan in that sense where things are shifting as well. Maybe it's all an insider job for better ratios and whatnot. We don't really know, all right? Because you might think discounts like this are actually very nice for investors, so why wouldn't they be getting in? Or maybe it's all just because the Bitcoin price has dropped and it doesn't say anything for the future. It's very, very hard. Whatever people are saying, though, is that because Grayscale is trading at a negative, it basically means that people, which are the institutional investors, are not buying enough GBTC stock, which is basically Bitcoin ETF. They're not buying enough of it, so the price isn't rising, which means they are speculating that the prices are going to be going down, which is a negative thing. Cardano Charles Hoskinson reveals timeline for the Cardano smart contract testnet. So yeah, that's that. What else do I have to say about this one? Nothing. You can look it up. Yeah. What else do I have to say about that? It's not a really specific timeline anyway. The founder of Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, tuned in through another video explaining some of the next steps ahead of the team. In the laid out roadmap, he outlined that a testnet for the long-awaited smart contracts of Cardano should be rolled out in late April or early May. Yeah, let's wait for it though. We'll see. The New York Times, this is really interesting, sells one of its columns as an ETF. I found that really cool. It went for a pretty nice premium of about $600,000 in Ethereum though. And once more guys, do you think I should make DustyBC NFTs? I've been talking about it and I'm thinking about releasing maybe like either 69 or 100 of them just for fun, just for as a collectible for the community. Because, you know, crypto is just going to keep on growing anyway. And if the channel grows as well and it keeps going on, which might be the case, oh, it could be a very rare thing in the future, right? Because, well, we'll only do it once. So, yeah. Having said that, over $6 billion was set in options. Sorry, $6 billion in options were set to expire today, yet I don't think really anything really happened. People always come and say, yeah, no, this really is going to be bad for Bitcoin, really going to be bad for crypto. And I always respond saying, well, I don't think so. Even said it on 5 Minute Crypto, even said it on this channel before. I don't think it does anything negatively for the price, yet people always want to speculate. People always want to add something interesting to it. I don't think so, though. Honestly, I do not think so. I do think, however, that crypto is just going to keep on pumping, keep going on, keep going strong. And if it doesn't, I'll just buy more Bitcoin. That's the way I like to roll. 5.3 billion worth of options expired. Market remains unaffected as investment inflows slow down. Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't do too much. People are just afraid of it sometimes. However, I think the big drop from yesterday was just fear of regulation, which were really kind of made high by some bigger executives. Having said that, go check out GSX, world's first growth coin, a really interesting gold-backed crypto. I have a couple $1,000s with them. I like the risk to reward. Right now, it is 10 cents a coin, plus a 5% bonus, plus a 5% bonus for using my link. And all I'm saying is go check it out. We may lose all our money. We may 20x our money. I'm hoping for the latter, that we're going to 25x, even 50x our money, but I'm never quite certain, as you obviously know. And that was it for today. See you guys again in another one. Take care, everybody.